Hey there, hunters. How's it going? Back again today with an update on the Beamstacker Spacetime Illusion Yoga build. Today I'm going to run a quick map, talk about some of the upgrades, and then talk about my plans for continuing upgrades. But before we get started, I just want to say thanks to everyone for watching, liking, and subscribing. It really makes a big difference. I'm going to be focusing more on making videos this year, so every little bit of support really helps. All right, so let's get into some maps. I am now level 85. And I've made a few damage upgrades. Actually, this is perfect. Let's just run a quick boss. Sure, you notice I have two different beams here. I'll go over that in a minute. Take note of how many orbs are on the ground right now. Good. Alright, so you kind of got a concept of what the damage was like. That was a, was it tier, yeah, tier 5 map boss. So not astounding, but it's not terrible. Now, let's talk a little bit about the skills. So the main skill is, of course, Lightning Beam. It just does damage every 5 times you cast it. It gets a little thunderbolt. That's what these things are. These are the thunderbolts. They follow you around and they auto cast the skill. I think they just work off of your skills. I actually can't tell if the thunderbolts use spell burst, but either way, even if they just cast, it's pretty significant. So every 5 times you cast, it creates one of these thunderballs. They move around and do damage for you. Now, what's cool when this is in your main skill, my Illusionman here will cast these will cast about every 1 second or so, and that means he will maintain all of these balls. So I can just be running around a map, not casting any buttons, and he will be casting and shooting and maintaining all the balls for me. Now, the way it works is you start with 3 base thunderbolts, but for each extra beam you have, this one here, additional beam, and then I have an additional beam here, as well as additional beams here. So if I just spam cast for a while, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9 thunderstorms I have. So yeah, they just run on, they blast, and they chain, and that's pretty cool. I'm still using the cold conversion rings. I don't know if this is optimal, but it's got kind of efficient scaling for now. In terms of cheap items that can give you a lot of damage, I was able to buy this Vortex Heart, and coincidentally I'm using Frigid Domain, so it's not a complete brick, but Focus Strike is one of the biggest damage multipliers you can get. And then I also found these gloves. I think they're pretty new, but what's interesting is the elemental resistance penetration for every weather you inflict. So I will just go over here to dummy really quick. Do a quick demo test, but you'll see that I'm averaging around 100 120-ish wilts, so that's 100% elemental resistance penetration. And you see it goes up higher when I'm actively, like right now I'm holding down Q to shoot my beam, so I have more going off, but we're shredding so much enemy resistance, it's kind of crazy. Then I started crafting some pretty basic rares. This was on the auction house for 1 FE. It had all of these mods. I just crafted life, but I don't know if someone was lucky or maybe mistyped the price, but hey, this is pretty cool. Life, resistance, erosion resistance, cast speed, and explosion, so heck yeah, I'll take that. But I'm working on getting better boots. And then my staff really needs a lot of work. Right now there's really only 2 good mods on it, and I'm almost out of plasticity, so I'm going to have to buy a new one before long. But the important stat here is the beams, and then my next priority is going to be getting into the city because I need candles, because you can get extra beams on candles, and right now I do not have any candles, so I'm missing out there. Let's see. Oh yeah, well, something else that's kind of cool about these gloves is they give mana on hit, and you're hitting dozens of times a second. So I used to have mana issues because my Illusionman uses my mana when he casts inside the circle, but now that I have mana on hit, I basically don't need to invest in mana at all. So I can get rid of mana source and all these other things. Yeah, so overall it's a pretty fun kind of gimmicky build, but I mean, is it more damage than Ice Ring? Probably not. Ice Ring is categorically the best spell in the game for whatever reason, but this is fun and it's different and it's new. So let's just run a quick map. You saw how the boss kill worked, but let's just do a normal. I'm still filling out my my cinders here, but you get the idea. Should I turn on Mana Boil? Yeah, then we pretty much just cruise. Yeah, I am using Corrosion Imbue right now because I'm trying to figure out good ways to get base wilt in the build. It's like you have to have base wilt damage before you can actually apply a wilt. And I'm exploring options for that. I think maybe slates or something. There might be a way to add like a percentage of my skill damage to wilt damage. But I'm not really gaining a lot from the other imbues anyway. I don't really need the explosion or anything anymore now. I'm gonna dodge these lightning bolts. And I also need to make a lot of improvements on my hero relics and memories. Right now I'm still using some pretty basic ones. I do think the answer, I need to do some testing, honestly. I'm not sure if it's going to be better to use 2 sets of beams or to use just like a damage or like some buffing skill instead, and just focus entirely on my Illusionman damage. Because I mean, I am going Steel Vanguard, so I'm going to have really strong Empower skills. So maybe it would make more sense to just focus entirely on my Illusionman damage. But we'll see. I think the build's taken off now pretty well. I'm just going to keep pushing it into the 90s. My main priorities, of course, is going to be better staff, better boots, and then, yeah, slates and candles. So stay tuned. This is a fun build. It's actually a really good one to play on mobile. I don't know how many people are actually playing this on phones, or if you have a backbone like I do. It's just it auto targets and it's really smooth and it's really comfy. Die, squid boy. Defenses are actually the other thing I really need to sort out. I figure I'll just go energy shield eventually, because it's pretty tough to sort life recovery. But yeah, we will have to see there. Oof, I got dunked. But yeah, and then this is what mapping's like. You just run through. I'm using the refracting beams on my main skill. I feel like it helps clear a little bit. Not quite as fast as some other auto bomber builds, but that'll come with time and gear. I think slates will make a really big difference. I imagine I think I'm going to go for a mixture slate eventually. That'll really help my damage. And then Steel Vanguard, of course, has actually decent erosion scaling. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll be posting another update video on this build probably later this week. Stay tuned. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I had some really good feedback in the previous video in the comments. Help me do some testing. So appreciate that. If anyone has any suggestions or improvements, please let me know. Thank you, everyone, and see you next time.